that we started on Monday on the huddle, which was mastering the art of prospecting, right? Because it's an art form, right? This is our craft, prospecting. So, question for all of you, right? How do you track and evaluate the effectiveness of your prospecting efforts? How do you track the effectiveness?
Not well.
Not well. Well, I mean, what's the system you use? What do you think, Mark? What's the system you use for tracking the effectiveness of prospecting?
Um, so I have like Google Sheets for literally everything. I have a tracking thing set up. So like I have every single solitary reel, YouTube video, short, literally I have it all subcategorized. I think I have 22 of them, so that's what I'm putting out. And then I have anything that's ever been posted. So I have like the post date, everything's written out like that. So then things that get high views or things that are like have high conversation ratios, I put that in. So then I can track exactly what's working, and then I'll like then recalibrate and make more content on that based on it. And then I have it even go a little bit further. I don't do it all. My assistant does it all because that's literally a full-time job. But then she'll call me and say, hey, this one's going viral. You need to make more content on that. And then we'll do more content on that. And then we'll do our conversion ratio. So okay, I've got 15 phone calls or 15 DMs from this specific thing that we track. And then how many of those actually turned into something qualified, or was it just people piquing interest? So I actually have that recorded as well. And then it's like, okay, this topic seems like people are interested in this area, but it's not really hitting. Like it's just people, there's a lot of interest here, but it's not really doing anything. And then we make like a downsizer video and it's like, man, I just got 4 listing appointments from it. So it's like, okay, there's a lot more qualification in this area. So yeah, if that answers your question.
It does. So what I hear you saying is you're taking the posts, what you're putting on social, you're looking at the metrics of that. Like how is that working out? Like you said, you had 22 different Google pages. I guess each one tracks per post. Is that what that is?
Yeah, so if I have okay, I'll make it super easy because it's so technical, but I'll have so in Google Sheets you can have sub tabs on the bottom. So I
Right.
have my sub tabs on the bottom. My one tab's gonna say Mark YouTube Shorts, Lorraine YouTube Shorts, YouTube video, Instagram Reel, right? And then so I'll go into like YouTube Shorts, and then I'll have my sheet, and on there it'll say like video one, the title of that video, the date I posted it, and then it's like I've got so many subcategories there. And then so my assistant's job is at the end of the week we look at traction, how many views it had, what kind. People don't really like and comment as much anymore. They're more or less just watching the content,
Hmm?
and then she has to circle back and look again. I find that so we'll run the ad for about 4 days. Like I usually run an ad on every single thing that I post, and my ad's $5. So I run an ad on everything, and then we share it. My
So
sister,
you're boosting it. Not
I'm
it's an
boosting,
ad
yeah,
or a boost.
yeah, a boost, 4 days
Okay,
a
so
week.
you whatever that piece of content was, you boost it.
Yes, and then
So
she'll circle
on
back
average, how many pieces of content are you boosting, let's say, per week?
for.
So per week, you're spending 20 bucks a week boosting content.
Yeah.
Would you say you're boosting video content? Would you say you're boosting like stagnant posts or carousels? What would you say you boost the most?
I'm doing everything. So I'll have like Danny, you and I worked on this together. You sent me that Luke guy. I follow him a lot. But so I'll do like a carousel. I started making like tweet looking posts because I noticed those are huge now. So it's just and they're not even real estate related. It's just showing like they're like motivational quotes, and those are actually getting shared the most. And
Mhm.
that's actually I'm getting the most amount of work from those than I am posting anything in real estate.
So I want to stop you there. Did you
Yeah.
guys hear that? It's why? Why would a motivational post from a realtor all of a sudden get him clients? And I want you to think about that for a second. It's because he's resonating with that person. That's all it is. It's building that rapport. And we're in a state, like when you look at the general public right now, they're in a state of a little panic at times because of the temperature in the room. Would you guys agree with that? Right? Yeah. So then here's positivity coming their way. And that's all they're looking for is some positivity. Here's a realtor that's not bitching and complaining about inventory or lack thereof or too much of. Here's a realtor that says, hey, this is how you improve. I want to work with someone like that because I want the better side. So I'm telling you right now, the reason that works for you, Mark, is because you're resonating with more people. You're resonating with the client. So good for you. I love it. So everything you shared is based upon analytics, which are easy to measure when you're doing posts and any sort of social media. I get that. I want to flip it to another side. Let's take posting and social media away. There are other avenues of prospecting. How do we gauge that? Let's say circle prospecting. Let's say brand new listing hits the market and you're simply talking to the neighbors. How would we gauge the effectiveness of that? Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I like honestly, I do everything. I thoroughly love real estate, and I personally just love talking to people. So social media is fun. I can shoot half my social media content when I'm door knocking. I pick an hour or two, and it's like let's just go out and talk to people. So one thing that I found the most effective is I actually go out and I just say, hey, I've got a property coming up in the neighborhood. If I don't, I lie. And I want to. This is my script. I made it up, and it works very well. Hey, my name's Mark Prada. I'm a local realtor. I've got a property coming up in the neighborhood, and I'm going to be hosting an open house. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping the value of this neighborhood because I don't want to affect the sale of anybody else's house here. So, in doing so, there might be something that I'm missing in this neighborhood that you love about it. Is there like a park or community event? And then they just go, oh my God, let me tell you all this stuff. Then what ends up happening is we end up shooting the crap for a few minutes. And I say, hey, man, I really appreciate all the information. What's your name, by the way? I shake their hand. They tell me my name's Danny. I literally walk off their lawn. They close their door. I go into the notes on my phone and I write down Danny, number 123 Cucumber Street. And then I write them a personal note the next day. And I just say, hey, Danny, thank you so much. If they gave me any inclination that they might sell, my motto is within a year or two, like, oh, we might sell in 2 years. 2 years is my kind of cutoff. Then if they told me they have a dog, I'll actually go out and buy them a $10 gift card to the Pet Value down the street just to say thank you so much for your time. Only if it seems like they might sell. If they don't, every single one of them gets a letter from me. And then yeah, we go from there. I put them, kind of circle back to them and try to get their email at some point in time.
Love it. What a great strategy. Right? Nurturing, especially if you work a specific neighborhood or want to break into a specific neighborhood. What an amazing strategy. Asking someone's opinion who's been living in there, is there anything I may have missed? What a brilliant question, right? Open-ended question, asking the neighbors, what do they love about the area? And then I love what you're doing with the follow-up mailer. That's brilliant. Love it. Um, all right, let's keep going with this. Does anyone have any other ways, any other metrics that they use and they found most useful? Anything else? No? One of the ones I really enjoyed and I found extremely useful is if you're doing over the phone prospecting lead gen using a dialer, right? One of my favorite dialers was Mojo Selling Solutions. And the reason for that is it really does keep track of those conversations. And more importantly, it keeps track of the metrics of them. So I can displace the call and say, okay, this was a lead, this was dead, this was an appointment. And really got to have clarity on my numbers, how many conversations I needed to generate one really good appointment, how many appointments I needed before I got a contract signed, right? So if you're doing over the phone prospecting and it's becoming part of your business, it's well worth getting a dialer just for the analytics, right? All right, let's keep going. What's the next question? Correct. Okay. What criteria do you use to qualify leads before you begin to invest some significant time into nurturing them? So, what criteria, what qualifies them as a lead in essence, right? We always say this, hey, I paid for these leads. I paid for Zillow leads or realtor.com leads or this leads. I paid for leads, but really, are they a lead? What qualifies them as a lead? So, in your opinion, I'd like to know from everybody, what is a qualified lead look like? What does a lead in your eyes? What do you need to know? Let's start
That
picking.
they're that they're actually start within a certain time frame planning on a move, not just like pick your brain conversation.
Hey,
I forget.
so Ruth's saying they're talking to you about real estate. I'm going to say that's semi-quasi. Everyone talks about real estate. Allison, I hear you saying you need to know timing.
A little bit, yeah,
Yeah, so I agree with
yeah.
that. Like, you need to
Mhm,
know timing. Like, when are we starting this process? Like, when would you
mhm,
like to be moved? When would you like to be in the new place? I agree with that. Does anyone have
mhm.
anything different? Go ahead, Mark.
I'm like, for better words, I'm a bit of an a-hole now because I found so many people have wasted my time, and I don't know if all of you have had the experience yet, but I did get to see the dark side of Danny at one point where he was like, get it together. So I try to take that energy and put it with these people because there is a lot of tire kickers and there's a lot of people. So if the leads coming in from like Facebook, Instagram, something like that, I don't even have a phone call. I've got a questionnaire that I kind of wrote out. And it literally, the first question, are you working with a realtor? Because I've spent quite a few times where I took people out and ended up realizing that they're working with someone else. They were just didn't want to bother their realtor. And then I ask like really straight up questions. Are you pre-approved? Or, there's like a whole bunch of questions in there. And if that's answered to my criteria, then I'll set up a phone call. And then it's not to be a jerk, but it's very straight. And, I just don't want to waste my time anymore. And when they're ready, we're good. Let's go. And I'll be the best
So,
agent in the world.
what I hear you saying is you have a detailed qualifying kind of checklist. These are the things I want to go over first before we can book an appointment, which is even further than the idea of, hey, I need to do this by this time.
Yeah.
You're going a little bit deeper, which is great. I mean, everyone's going to have their own criteria, right? I love it. I mean, that is taking it to the next level, right? And you could be having like clearly find out the financial, how are they financially? Are all the decision makers going to be there? How motivated are they? Like you may get into all the different criteria, motivation, price, stuff like that, before you take it to the next level. Love it. Does anyone have anything different? No, pretty much. Good.
Can I jump back in there for a sec? I'll
Yeah.
help any if you want. Without being like a jerk, I find that it takes a minute to get people to talk. And I learned this from Danny. Danny said, whenever you have a phone call, just before you make that phone call, I want you to have the biggest smile on your face and then make that phone call. So I do that and it puts me in a better mindset. And I find that people don't give you the information up front. So I start saying, like, paint that picture for me. What does this look like? And they can feel that smile. And then then you'll see and telltale signs. Well, if I could sell my house, I could then buy this place that I'm dreaming of. Or, well, I think we might be able to. We're probably a year away from that amount of money to get it. And you start to get these people put them in, you realize, okay, they're not as qualified as they're coming off. So if you have these, like, you know, it doesn't take long. It's just have a big smile and try to create some sort of story. And that's when people kind of give you all their verbal diarrhea.
Okay, I want you guys to break this down. I love what you're saying. Okay. So remember, communication, 7% of the communication that we receive, effectiveness, is words. Words only have a 7% effectiveness. Tonality has a 38% effectiveness in communication. So you could say all the best stuff, but how you say it and how it comes across is more effective. And your body language or your energy has a 55% effectiveness. So if you throw in your energy, standing up, on the phones, talking to people, tonality, that's 93% of the communication. So it doesn't really matter what you're saying. And the problem is most realtors are hung up on what to say. Where you can just fake it with what you're saying as long as you're saying emphatically. You're saying with energy, with excitement. It doesn't really matter what you're saying. And I love what you said, Mark, that a big smile on your face. I agree. You do never start your lead gen over the phone prospecting without visualizing the perfect outcome and getting excited about it. Because if you just come into your office and start making those calls without mentally getting yourself in the right mindset, it will become a wasted session. There's no point doing it. Your energy won't be there, your excitement won't be there, and they're just going to be beating you up and you're going to think that this is terrible. But if you can mentally prepare yourself to make the calls, get excited, have that visualization. This is what it's going to happen when I make these calls. I'm so excited. And you get into it, you'll be more effective. It's extremely powerful. Now, I would add a couple of things there that I didn't hear you say, but for everyone here, you ask a question, then listen to what the answer is from the client. Repeat it back with enthusiasm and a smile on your face and give the approval. So if you ask the question, hey, Allison, where were you thinking of moving to next? And then it's like, Boston. That's so exciting. Good for you. Boom. Then you jump into the next question. And in the perfect world, when would you like to be there? Oh, you thinking sometime in the summer? That's awesome. And I'm just curious. What's taking you to Boston? The where, when, and why, right? So repeating what they say, give them an approval, then jump into the next question. That is the formula that you talk to your best friend. You know what I mean, Mark? Like when you're talking to your best friend and they come up to you, you go, hey, Mark, I bought a new car. And right away, it's like, you bought a new car? No shit. That's awesome. What'd you buy? Right? I bought a Corvette. You bought a Corvette? Wow, that's amazing. What color? Like, that's how you guys talk. That's how we talk with our best friends. So we want to associate the same way with a perfect stranger. Repeat what they're saying, give them approval, jump into the next question. They're going back and forth. So that's just a technique when it comes to being effective in your conversation pieces. Love it. All right, let's keep going. What strategies have you found most effective when reconnecting with leads who were, probably initially excited, but then fell off? How do you guys get them re-engaged? What strategy do you use to get them re-engaged? Lead came in back in November. They were super excited. Then they fall away. Did you guys ever get those? Right? Yeah, we all did, right? How do we get them re-engaged? All right, go ahead, Mark.
I learned it all from you, man. So I'm just repeating what you did and it works. So my energy is good. Honestly, we host some sort of event every single month. So whether I'm talking to you about real estate or not, I have a reason to call you. I have a reason to give you something or a chance to win something. There's going to be some sort of communication between us. So and people love it, right? People like free stuff. People like to be invited to things. So
So this is not limiting to, let's say, your Sphere database. What you're saying to me is if you just mentioned, hey, I'm thinking of buying, I'm thinking of selling at some point in life, and they'll kind of ghost you a few months later, but you're saying is like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to invite you to some sort of event or something.
So this literally just happened in January. I personally had a client tell me like, "Oh, I'm ready to buy. I'm gonna do this." They were buying a cottage. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it before the spring, no problem. And we were like going into our searches. We were talking, and then boom, done. I thought they picked another agent. I sent them an email. I sent them a text. I invited them to an event. They literally just ghosted me, and I still kept inviting. Hey, we're doing a food bank drive. If you're at nothing. And then I sent them a message for Mother's Day. Hey, we're buying gift cards to all the amazing moms out there for Mother's Day. You can see our video on Instagram. We did this really nice thing. And that one event resonated with them. Thank you so much. They signed up for it. I saw their email come in. And then literally 2 days after Mother's Day, like what is that, 2 weeks ago, they were like, hey, I haven't forgot about you. I'm ready to go again. Let's get back on this bandwagon. I'm going to buy my place. And now we're back in action, and it's like real action now. So it's just, I just didn't stop. But it wasn't real estate because nobody wants a salesman, right? Like, or a saleswoman. It was organic and just touch points.
Okay, so just added the touch points. You're doing these events anyways, and you're reminding them. Perfect. Does anyone have anything else that they do other than events? Because I don't know if everyone could be doing events all the time. What do you think,
Um,
Allison?
I mean, not really, but I think it's that not taking them off your list, like Mark was saying, and continuing. And sometimes they need permission to reach back out if they feel like it's been a while and they've ghosted you. It's almost like I have to give them permission to come back and check. Like it's okay to come back if you've taken the time off.
Great analogy. Giving them permission to come back. All right.
Yeah,
Because it's like, okay,
yeah,
I've ghosted them. Now they feel bad. And it's like, is he going to be
right,
upset with me? I really don't want to have that confrontation.
right. And I find that a lot of them they do come back and they'll have responded to an email I may have sent 6 months ago, even though they're always getting consistent, whichever was the one they can find. So I know they're still engaged somewhat, but they'll come back.
So for the most part, we use emails as a modality of communication with any sort of lead. Like that is the most common way of doing it. Now, the problem with email, it can be lost. Like if they unsubscribe, they delete or whatever spam. So what you want to do is go over and beyond that. If you have some leads that have been sitting around, hey, just pick up the phone and call them. Hey, Mark, at some point you mentioned to me you're thinking of making a move. Is that still the plan or have things changed? Like it's a simple conversation, right? If you want to take to the next level, shoot out like a video, a bomb video of some sort, right? Where you just record a video. It's like, hey, Iskra, how are you? Hey, I know we haven't talked to in a while. Back in that you mentioned this, and that. I'm just sending you a quick video. I got a deal of the week happening. Wonder if you're interested in it. I'd love to send it to you. Like whatever that may be. So it's just taking that extra step. And like Allison said, don't take them off the list, right? You're just going to work with them. They have to be in that follow up, but the follow up can't just be the emails. There needs to be layers, whether it is inviting them to an event, whether it is just making that phone call, a text message, a video, a message, whatever it may be. So even a handwritten note, like just sitting down and having a handwritten note go out so it doesn't, hey, listen, I haven't forgot about you. I know you mentioned this at the time. Just wonder if that's still the plan. If things change, let us know how we can help. Okay, great. What else do I have here? We got a little bit. Oh, actually 3 minutes. So does anyone else have any questions, concerns, hallucinations? Anything else that they want to cover? Yeah, go ahead, Mark. Got a couple minutes.
What do we got for sending out mass DMs? I used a thing. I used I not on the top of my brain right now, but I used a thing to send it out, and I got hit with anti-spam and
So,
Apple.
okay, so the way it works when you're sending out, so you're saying DMs, and this is on.
I'm sorry, not DMs. Texts.
Okay, so text message, the best one to use is hit them up.
That's what I used.
Okay, well, hit them up goes one at a time, and don't send more than I send 70 at a time. But if you're sending out, I think the number is 50.
Okay.
Okay.
I sent out 700, and then Apple cut
No,
my
no,
phone.
it's too many. It's too many.
Okay.
So what happens is, yeah, it's the best one because it goes individually.
Yes.
But Telus, Rogers, and Bell have a limit, right? I thought it was 70. And if you send out 700, then that might be too much. It might actually be at 100 because I sent out 70, no problem.
Okay.
Right? But 700 would be way too much. You have to pace it up.
Okay.
And there's other ones that you use through, let's say, your CRM. But what the problem with that one is it sends them all in one shot. While hit them up, you have to use your phone and you actually have to do it one at a time. But if you're sending out 700 within an X amount of time, I think Bell or Rogers or Telus is going to pick that up and say no. So
it was Apple. Apple cut me, and they said if I do it again, my number's gone permanently.
Okay, so don't do it again.
Yeah.
Okay? I would keep it within 50.
Okay.
Okay. Like you could do 50 now and then an hour later do another 50. Like don't do them all like 700. Okay.
Okay.
Because yeah, maybe it is your phone. Maybe it's your phone that's limiting you.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else before I let you guys go? No, you guys all good? Well, enjoy your day, weekend, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Remember, 8:30 on Monday. Thanks so much.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.